chat. Let's go.
Welcome back to FNCS and congratulations to Clown and Axe Force for taking the first victory royale of the Major 3 Finals weekend. And also, actually, we have to say an extra big congratulations to Axe Force because, Levin, that's his first ever victory royale in an FNCS Finals.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Axe Force has been in a couple, yeah. So fair play to him. Congrats to them, of course. And really nicely done, as the casters pointed out. They sort of took height at an untimely sort of moment for Kira and Mappy. I think Kira won't be too happy with how that one ended for them, an accidental crash pad placement that sort of messed them up. But either way, Clown and Axe Force will not be upset about that, right? They'll take whatever they can get, and the zone sort of played perfectly for them up this mountain, right? Everyone was struggling beneath them, really.
Yeah, and that's important for these guys because, of course, they are contested over there at Pleasant Piazza. So getting big games like this in the very first games can do wonders for their confidence. As you mentioned, the way that they played high was really nice. Just the ability to see that a team had a bit of an oopsie up over there on high and crash padding into the storm, and just having the ability and the confidence to say, right, we don't have that many materials. I think they only had about 200 between the two of them to go there and take high. Zone did play back for them, but it was a nicely played end game and a game that's going to
we're spectating Europe right now.
Mini Miner, were you surprised not to see Swizzy and Vaniac really challenge for height in this game? I know they kind of got separated as we headed into the end game, managed to reunite, but then they didn't really make a challenge.
Yeah, they didn't. I think we have seen them do that a lot throughout this season. It was something that I was expecting them to do. Maybe not in game one, though. I don't think I'm too disappointed or surprised that they haven't necessarily just gone all out height, because I think it just shows that they have this element to their game. They can play mid to low. Of course, we broke it down at the beginning of the show. They're both incredible fighters. They both know how each other play, and they haven't really been playing as solos too much, and I think this is going to be crucial for them today, knowing how to play these layers really well.
Yeah, I think, Frankie, you know, when we looked at last Grands, right, when they won, they played a lot of height, and that was sort of where we saw them a lot prominently. The key factor of that was they were able to do these really cool height things with the wings and fizzing that not many people could do. So a lot of the time they just catch people off guard on height. And it's funny because we sort of have a similar thing this season with crash pads where you can just go up really high vertically. But because almost everyone can do it, you don't have that same surprise factor. And I think that's part of why we're going to see them less on height throughout the weekend. I think we'll still see it here and there, but it's not going to be like the defining factor for them like it was when they won last season.
What's interesting for me now, guys, looking at the standings, is Castrider 7th, where Vico and Flixie are, and they only have 4 eliminations. Now, that's great for most duos, but Mini Miner, I'm kind of surprised. I would have expected them to have more, especially as they got
everyone chat, double tap your screen.
Yeah, they did. I mean, we wrote them down as the best fighters in the lobby at the beginning of the day, and I think we saw a different approach to them. We didn't see them just absolutely W king off spawn. We saw them playing that surge tower. I know Vico is sat up in one inside of Reckless, really, really tall tower up on top of the main building. So it seems like they're trying to just ease into it, I suppose, if you like, for this first game of Grand Finals. No doubt if they need to, they'll pull out some fights in mid-game, and maybe that end game wasn't quite to their standard that they would have liked, but still more to come from that duo for sure.
And also, I have to say, there's more than I expected in a way from Pradaj and Radion. I know we're only 1 game in, Levin, but this is a duo that I feel like we haven't really spoken much about, even though I have it on your authority, they've been around for a while. But in the semi-finals, getting Victory Royale last weekend, I was like, who are these guys? And they're showing up again.
Yeah, absolutely, right? Big ups to Pradaj and Radion. It's funny, I was watching Pradaj play some scrims yesterday, right? Obviously trying to get accustomed to the new, Surge meta, and they were struggling with Surge. They were down, but it's good to see that, the scrims sort of helped them figure something out for this game. Obviously, I think they're contested today by T-Chips and Deceptor, so interesting to see how they'll sort of fare throughout all the games. But I think the key factor clearly here was Radion just going ballistic in this end game, right? 8 limbs popping off. When you have a player that's going to pop off like that, you're going to have good games out of it. The key will just be, can they do this consistently? It's game 1 of a 12.
What's up, everyone? We're watching the FNCS.
Things look like on the standings at this point, right? There's still so much more to go.
Are you expecting Mini Miner, Mappy, and Kiro to pick themselves up again after that fluff on the crash pad?
Yeah, I think so. I know we've spoken about this team quite a lot throughout this chapter. Just of course, Kiro and Kiddo.
Game 2 in 2 minutes, chat. Game 2 in 2 minutes.
Like they have so much to give. It seems like leading up to Grand Finals.
New game in 2 minutes. They're just going over highlights.
Don't seem to deliver when it does come to Grand Finals. That might be a little bit of one of those where it's like an example of where they might have a few nerves going into this one, because of course this is their final opportunity to qualify for globals, and it was a really interesting way that this actually happened. It just seemed like a bit of a snap decision for them to throw down the crash pad and of course go into the storm. It just didn't quite seem as though they were confident and comfortable up there.
I think it was a bit accidental, right? I think Mappy wanted to just go to front side. They're sort of running low on mats, maybe land on a team and just try and get in box, right? And then Kiro steps on it the wrong way.
What's up, Cash? How you doing?
Storm. It's a bit unfortunate. I can sort of see what they were trying to do there, but yeah, the execution a bit off.
Levin, do you think that they wouldn't have been in that situation if they hadn't tried to take high ground so early? Because you just were saying they were running out of mats.
Yeah, I mean, that's the story of the season. I feel like a lot of the times we see teams on height just struggling, and then it's like, we're up here. Well, what do we do when we're here? We have nothing to play with it. So I think we'll still see them go for it quite a few times throughout the weekend. I don't think it'll scare them off.
In third place on the standings right now, we do have Prism and Casper. This is another duo I'm not too familiar with, so there might be a few newcomers.
Casper.
The same way, Mini Minor. I mean, Prism, actually, to be fair, Prism, I've definitely seen him in quite a few elimination feeds on the good and the bad side. So tell me, do you think this is a duo that can maintain this position on the standings?
Yeah, I think so. I think they're a very underrated team going into this grand finals. I see a lot of hype for them on social media. It seems like teams... a lot of people out there do have a lot of hope for this duo, and I like the way that Casper was playing the medkits here nice and early on, just squeezing out those extra placements. Was it second place there at the end? I think he managed to get, so really nicely done from them. And I think that's a strategy that is going to be so crucial that we're going to see from other teams today, as well as playing those medkits. But Zone's definitely played in their favor in that game, really close to where they landed, so I want to see what they do if Zone's a little bit further.
Look, I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but for the Mongo and Savage fans, these guys might be laying the blueprint. They land at the same spot. If those guys are doing good, then I'm looking at NA later thinking, oh my goodness, it's going to be a good day. That's what I'm thinking at least. Let me calm down.
I'm kind of confused by what you mean by that and what makes it a good day, but we'll chat.
What's up, Justin?
Because it's time for game number 2 with Takata and Jacob here.
Thank you so much, Frankie.
Game 2. Game 2.
For you, with the way things shaked out after game 1, let's just go right into game 2. I'll get that question right after.
Here we go. Game 2, chat. Game 2. Let's go. Hype up.
I need to ask it, Jacob. I'm feeling hype for game 2. I want to see how things shake up. We do have a battle.
If you go Grimgate, you're a savage. If you go Grimgate in Europe, FNCS, you're done for. Like you're just crazy. I never go to named location, especially Grimgate. Like everyone wants that shotgun.
Pred or Predage here with Radion.
See, that's smart. That's smart. They're going at like a little easy gas station, and then you can always rotate once you have actual weapons.
Put themselves in that first place spot.
Yeah, it wasn't so much only the eliminations, it was just the timing of those.
What's up, Lexman?
Able to get all those resources. Axe Force Clownski contested over Pleasant Piazza. In game 1, doesn't look like it proved to be too rough for them. Hizix and Donde are there as well, and this is a team that's been landing at Pleasant Piazza for quite a while, and I don't think anybody wants to kind of give it up for free. Yeah, you maybe disengage, but maybe you fight out just like this. Great shots to start it off for Axe Force, but nobody's there to kind of follow up on that, especially since he has to heal.
Axe Force now continuing to look for options.
Can you mod me, please? It takes a while for me to mod, guys. It takes a while, okay? Like, you have to be in every single of my streams, be nice to everyone, so it's a long process. I just don't hand them out.
Yeah, quick elim. Player's gonna go ahead and try to disengage out, but it's not too much of a worry just yet, because it does look like he's gonna be able to escape, and Axe Force and Clousey don't look like they're going to go on just a wild goose chase searching for him anywhere else, as Haijo and Kaido seem to have won the fight down here. So it does look like it's going to be 1-1 in 2 games so far. And this is one of those matchups that you kind of watch. 12 games of fighting it out off spawn.
I'm sorry,
do you really stay here for 12 games? Do you really fight for 12 games? Or do mind games, especially between day 1 and day 2, start to play a role?
I don't know, Jacob. We've seen it happen.
Chat.
But before I get too into it, Skavi.
This is FNCS Game 2 of Europe.
Come out on top, but look at the mini map, Jacob. They're not done yet.
Halfway.
The team's quickly rotating on over. You have the solo from Pleasant Piazza in the direction as well. It's just making it harder as Chroma William. They're just breaking their way in. No time being wasted. They spot out to be on the other side. Quickly backtrack to get the resources. They weren't plentiful, but they are now.
Gotta be careful though. Shots are gonna be connected onto the duo here. Chroma is gonna have to be the one to kind of carry his duo through this fight, keep them up. With just 3 HP left, Skv now forced to kind of play a game of hide and seek, roll a dice, and hope he gets a pair with the other duo that's coming in.
For Skv, I think this is a huge blessing. I'm a glass half full type of guy. That duo could have searched for him for quite a while. Now with Chapantini moving in, he could wait for this fight to finish, especially if Chapantini win. They never knew he was there. So this is going to be his best chance at survival. You even got Hizik, so 2 different solos looking around this fight. Some trying to use it as an opportunity to take advantage, get some surge. They're shooting towards Teeny's box. He quickly takes note of that, but no, the glass is half empty now because Skv just got heard. They spotted him out. 2 versus 1. He finally goes down. He just needed to be patient.
So close, but the thin ice shattered as Chapantini were able to pick it up, and with that, I don't think they will continue forward. Here the crash pad come through. Disengagement as well, as Chapantini didn't even get too much damage. I mean, Skv had like 3 HP, so 1 shotgun shot. That's what they're gonna have in terms of Storm Surge. But taking a look at a replay once again, Camiseti went down early in game 1, and we're gonna have a repeat here in game 2.
Oh man,
that's crazy.
And easy, just making their presence known at that split drop. And this is where I talk about the mind games. I was thinking from day 1 to day 2, but a couple of teams are already losing their off-spawn fights in back-to-back games, so it's really kind of forcing that question. Do you switch things up, go to a total different drop? Do you just kind of switch things up, go to a different either floor loot or chest at your drop? Then again, we are talking about Seti and Cammy, so all the experience in the world, especially, you know, they do tend to start a little slow and make their comebacks later on in the game.
I mean, we know Camiseti. They're one of the 8 duos that have made it all 3 EU finals this chapter. But with 2 games having gone out in the early game with basically 0 points, it's not a good way to start it off. There is a 1.5 times multiplier on the points in day 2 and 4 matches to be played out.
Bro, imagine
today,
landing
so
at a freaking like,
still happen, but
like a
wrong?
medallion
Red
spot.
line rig,
Like that's
Murstache is
crazy.
eliminated. Malabuka's left alone.
What went wrong, like, does they have the loot? Because in theory we see that he doesn't have the mythic AR, but does he have the medallion, or do he kind of give it up? Because I've seen that before. Teams get to test it, they get left as a solo, they, instead of running away with the medallion, they drop it to try to make their presence unknown. As Dexy and Eclipse kind of out with revenge. I believe that's Turtle and Cheeks.
That is
on
smart
the other
though.
side.
How you just run
Have
and
to
drop the
watch out
medallion.
for, but maybe
Because
less
one,
so
you
now
can get
that
chased,
clarity to get
and
one
2, they
elimination
are
on
gonna
Cheeks,
chase
Turtle
you
by
because
himself.
you had the
Cheeks
prize
sent
fight
back
more.
to the classroom as Eclipse now is going to see if he can find his duo partner. The 2v1 upper hand for this duo, but Turtle living to his name here in his little turtle base he's made down below, looking to see if he can hold off.
And this is almost a little bit worse than his position before because Zone is pulling south for the most part yet again, which means a lot of teams will begin to rotate south, which means there's not going to be too many third parties moving in, especially now Turtle just trapped himself into that vault. They're going in. Maybe a different kind of loot. I thought Turtle was going to plan the great escape there for a second. But Dexy and Eclipse, they just get a different kind of loot from that vault.
Turtles aren't too fast, so it is difficult to make a great escape. Eclipse Dexy now with a little confidence boost from those 2 eliminations might be able to take some shots, I'd say mid-range, from these duos, being Nathan and Sky Scroll on the other hand. They don't need to do anything aggressive with those 2 eliminations, just see if they can get more damage. If they do see that engagement go full on though, and they have that potential for another third party, they could play aggressive, but I don't think it's very likely.
Yeah, especially since they didn't get like a massive north zone, but it is pulling relatively towards the center for now. And you talked about their performances when they get a north zone. Hey, at least they can work with something a little bit more towards the middle. Now they end up wall to wall with Maxi Mixstick. Another team towards the north that they have to watch out for as well. So they got to pick and choose their battles wisely here.
You can see them taking shots at the opposing duos from afar. Meanwhile, making sure they have their eyes on the player's box down below them. They know they can get taken by surprise at any moment here, so they've got to be cautious. They got to be aware. 2 duos now, kind of rotating past them. One of them up north of Lavish and the other a bit more southwest. Nice shots being connected. You need to hit those shots in grand finals, Jacob. You don't get too many opportunities to kind of take those shots on duos rotating, but when you get them, you can't miss them.
You gotta be careful. They'll start to shoot back, and I think they heard Nathan's shield get cracked. They're gonna go up. Let's take a look. The red line rigged. This is where Malabuka was by himself, and it almost looks like he doesn't have to worry. You're no longer by yourself. You're just back in the lobby with your teammate.
I'd be worrying if I was back in the lobby, but I'm still curious to kind of what went wrong. Merstash got eliminated earlier on, and they didn't instantly kind of push Malabuka, so I wonder if they just found him as a solo. I wonder how much eliminations Pixie and his duo has. I wasn't able to see it. Could tell me the answer. Let's take a look though at how Mystic got his elimination. One for the duo.
Yeah, this is something that we kind of saw start to break out before we went into the replay. It was actually CZB that went down. I thought it was going to be Nathan there for a second because Nathan was the one that got cracked by the third party. They instantly heard that and went up, but it was just CZB probably trying to alleviate some of the pressure. He's going to go down for it. I can only assume that's Nathan all the way back in Lavish Lair. He has no choice but to go back, try to get his reboot card. And the biggest blessing for him is if a bunker opens up back there in the storm, they'll have no worries.
Would be ideal. You gotta kind of hope in situations like this. The odds are in your favor. Thomas HD now has kind of, we like to say, that 2024 Storm Surge base set up, blocking those crash pads. But without any eliminations, they are gonna need to do a significant amount of damage. They have time for deal and reason. One of the other 8 duos that has made all 3 EU Grand Finals this year. And rightfully so.
Yeah, you see them just trying to elevate themselves a little bit. They don't got the massive Surge Tower. At least they're not utilizing it just yet. Maybe they're still trying to get. They're split up, and that's why you can see they're not just having that full focus towards the top. They need to be able to close the distance right away when they do have a chance. Just trying to make sure they replenish as much as they just use. Axe Force Clownski, they have that one elimination still around Pleasant. Honestly, no reason for them to move, or no drastic reason so soon. They did get the one elimination, some surge, and then that zone is pulling in their favor, so they can realistically take as much time as they need.
Time is everything in the Grand Finals, both in the early, mid game, even the late game, depending on how much loot you're able to get through your impacts. The thing I'm looking at, though, is in the surrounding area of Pleasant Piazza, they don't have too many options right now. Having kind of pulled the zones and being in more a mid-map location. For Kiro and Moppy, though, they have a rotate to do.
I'm just interested to see how many times Mappy is going to get the mythic hand cannon. Because we did see, after that game 1, Chap Teeny say, hey, we are going towards Rift Island. We're not going to let anybody get it for free, even if that means we have a bad game in one of them, which we did see them sacrifice themselves for that Rift Island, try to get that loot. It was Mappy, it was Kiro, the ones that took them down. And with that amount of confidence, that's almost scary to go up against a team like Chap and Teeny.
I mean, if you hit a headshot with that hand cannon, it's a clear advantage for the rest of the fight. Looking in the feed, Flexy even picking a player
Game 2 out of 12.
Oh, look at that, though. Look at Prism Jacob. Both players crouched. Looking for a 3-2-1 onto Mappy, but nothing significant is going to connect.
Alright, chat. If you're in this chat, I'm gonna wait for a couple more people. But if you're in right now and you're not a bot, I need you to guess who's gonna win the Europe FNCS.
Unsuspecting, because Zane gets closer and closer towards the end. Everybody's gonna be in closer proximity to one another, and so players aren't gonna be rotating around. They're gonna be tunneling. They're gonna be in surge bases, boxed up, waiting for that next.
Yo, Justin W, bro.
Queasy Thomas now using minis, using bigs to recuperate that shield they lost.
Hold on, I'm going
Justin.
Justin.
They could just pickaxe the Slurp Cacti. Now they're forced to use all these heals in the mid game to kind of recuperate what they lose getting those surge tags. Issue is in the late game now, they're not going to have too many options to heal. Mappy, though, Hero, weren't too happy with the 3-2-1 onto them. They've decided the aggression now is their side of the play, as a quick crack is going to come on to Casper.
That stair placement was just as beautiful as the shot. Kind of dropped him down into the box. And now they're just ready to get aggressive. They don't want to give them time to heal. Minis, colas, nothing here in a situation like that. They get the wall weak. They nitro their way in there. Freshly built wall.
I think that we'll have to look back when they show the leaderboard again. But I don't know. I don't know who's gonna win.
Even looking like they might try and chop them down altogether. Hey, you're gonna run. We're gonna bring the fight back down to us.
Nitro's gonna run out. They tried playing ultra aggressive, but with unable to make it into their opponent's box. Looks like they're gonna take quick breath as the medkit is gonna come through. Prism Casper said, okay, we should probably get to 200 effective HP and shield if they're gonna push us like that. The zone is far, and it is gonna start closing in just 5 seconds. So
Mappy is pretty low.
Make another push.
Yeah, they're just trying to go out. Hero Mappy gonna get some shots, recycle that same crash pad if they so choose. But they can also go ahead and move forward. Even though the cactuses don't respawn, there could be a chance that, hey, maybe somebody didn't use them. Maybe they can use those to replenish the missing shield, the HP that they might need since now they're staggering back into zone. Looking up towards the Rift Island, though. I see 3 teams. One of them not necessarily claiming it like they thought and said they would, but Vico Flixie, 380 above. Even without an elimination, they're always seemingly finding a way to climb that Storm Surge ladder.
Yeah, I mentioned it earlier, but Vico even said it in the interview. I mean, he was feeling perfectly fine with the.
How is he flying, bro? What are these, the balloons?
Into their kind of overall.
Oh, you gotta hit those shots, bro.
Finals. They do have uncontested Reckless, so they have their game plan to get tags, and it's clearly working.
I think they're streaming this from Europe, chat, and so that's why it's so glitchy. Okay.
Even though the position they're currently at,
because it's really laggy.
Zone, the rest of the island won't. They can just simply rotate around. I can imagine that's their tunnel. I got into this location, so they're just trying to go ahead and pad it as much as possible.
Flixie got why has to start hitting his shots, or there's gonna be bad's gonna happen.
Even knew they were up there or saw that, because that would have been an easy green light to push.
But I think they did, as Monier is gonna choose that opportunity to push, but quickly enough, Vico's gonna be picked up just in time to kind of save them from that aggressive play.
Safe for that moment on top of Rift Island, but now everybody here.
Okay, guys, is it just me, or do you think that Europe are such bad European players in Fortnite so much better at like attacking? Like I feel like they're so much better than American.
What's went wrong though? Potosai Snazy.
Like, I feel like it's so much more competitive.
Healthy in the early mid game. Now both players no more shield left. They're gonna have to pop a cola. Snazy, I'm not even sure what he's gonna pop. I think it's a med kit right now, as Potosai has just 5 little ticks left in his Flowberry Fizz. It's not looking good for the duo.
Wow. Oh, thank you.
Eliminations, back-to-back contested wins against Seti and Cammy, and this is the first time all chapter that Seti and Cammy have had back-to-back 0-point games, and it's just going to show the pressure of a finals lobby with some changes, being forced to adapt with very little time. I think it was this Boop and Noble was like the only session of practice some of these players did get going into this grand finals, and I don't think every single player has even played in that session, so very little practice going around. Adapting on the fly is kind of the name of the game, and I will not be surprised if as we get close to the end of day 1 or even into day 2, if things change yet again for these players, figuring out how to play with the changes that came at them.
I mean, that's the Fortnite competitive spirit, adapting as quickly as possible and being able to do it better than your opponents. Easy Akira now gonna use that crash pad rotation. I'm looking at the map.
Yeah, crash pads.
They're rotating towards.
I'm with you, bro. Real, yeah. Angel Torres. Yo, what's up, bro? Like, they gotta start hitting these shots, bro. They gotta start hitting these shots. And they gotta start tying up their edits.
Akira's gone down. Was that pickaxe to those small little trees worth it? Easy's now gonna have to play the rest of this match out alone.
Yeah, that got me for a second. I go down trying to farm when I don't even necessarily need the materials too much. Akira is gonna have to rethink that one. Luckily he's there. He can help his teammate out with some vital information, probably some mat calls, maybe some things he doesn't see in that moment. Just because you're down and out, as long as your teammate is still alive, your job is not done just yet.
I mean, Malibuca showcased it in the first game, got an 8th place finish. I think Merstash got knocked down before any of the moving zones, so getting 8th place as a solo is incredibly difficult.
What's up, Angel Torres?
Can replicate what Malibuca did last game. It could be more than enough to kind of save this match. Chicho gonna be another player. Is he a solo? He is. Trulex has gone down. Issue is also 12 below. Gonna get ticked by Storm Surge. All he needs is one tag, Jacob.
Literally just want from any of his weapons, aside from maybe some distance on the gatekeeper. Luckily for him, Chap and Tini are positioned so high they just can't see off the edge of that.
He's not in Storm. How's he in Storm Surge?
They're looking towards the backside of zone, to where most of those players have a ton of distance to cover compared to everybody else. As Chicho still getting tagged up, finds himself above the damage threshold for a moment and a chance to breathe.
For 9dela, more than enough damage, as they're kind of just looking through their builds right now, waiting for an opening to try and take some shots. Shots come through.
Honestly, until we get to like top 10, I think I'm just gonna play like freaking
for Dela to take a shot.
Just like heal off, you know, get a bunch of meds and just start healing off.
Patience, just not trying to stretch themselves too thin to go for any surge. You saw them just well above that threshold. It's not even a necessity at this point.
Nice shot. See, that's what I'm saying. They're so much better.
Little pre-fire as he broke the stair.
European players is so better. It's just better, bro.
Active damage and kind of his last
I definitely don't think Thomas is gonna win unless he gets a good game.
Put into desperation is now.
It still has 12 games left, but like, I mean, 10 games left, but
the position they're currently
I don't know. That'd be pretty cool though. If he came up, he only has 12 points.
The
and
idea
getting
that you're
Storm.
getting tagged by Storm Surge and you're incredibly low. No more shields to recuperate it. Now just 10 above, but one tick away from getting eliminated.
Oh, barely gets above. I thought he was just waiting. He's being patient. Probably hearing the communication coming out from Queasy. Hey, I shot when I landed one. That's barely above though, 10. As soon as they fall below, I do believe Storm Surge will reactivate, taking down Thomas altogether. Not just a knock, but eliminated from the lobby.
Like
leaving a lot of pressure on the Queasy. The only blessing that'll come from that is a lot of resources will go on to Queasy.
The end game's like 30 people left.
This team is just facing a lot of pressure, and we're barely halfway through the game.
Hopefully we don't have to cue the violins here. 34 above still. Literally in the blink of an eye. Thomas could end up getting eliminated. The rotate's gonna come through. One shot from Kovacs could be it. But it looks like the rotation isn't gonna be through the tunnel, so Thomas and Queasy should have a bit more time to stay up.
Yeah, 297 above the surge. They have the flexibility to go over. I almost think Queasy and Thomas
good rotation. They got lucky though.
Thomas is just trying to rotate up over, ends up against Forzin and Gudenbra. They're going to take him down. Queasy's now left by himself, and he's feeling that same pressure. 17 below the damage threshold. A good amount of materials, but really nobody to go and aim at. He's on the side of the mountain while everybody's positioned above. This is a tough position for Queasy to be in.
Shots are coming through, but he's getting put into panic here, as just 35 above can go down, and he's second now. The good news is he does have a lot of players close by. The bad news is none of them are currently peeking him. And if he decides to kind of build up towards them, it could be an issue, but I see what you saw, Jacob. Bottom right, mini-map. He has pulled the 8th zone. Prime positioning, but everything else is definitely not primed up.
Yeah, this is just going to give him the best chance to get Surge because everybody has to rotate in his direction, but can he wait that long? Storm Surge is now active. He is on the clock, seconds to wait, and he's not even necessarily going out for the hunt just yet. He can't. He doesn't want to give up the elimination points over to anybody else, but he finds himself above the threshold. 87, that's a little bit more confidence to start to build on, but 15 HP. This is frightening.
If Queasy manages to even get a little bit of placement here, it would be absolutely incredible. Record-breaking clutch. But just one shot away, the sliver of HP that he has, all an opponent has to do is sneeze on him and he'll get eliminated. He's getting those little tags. It's keeping him above, but for how long can he keep it up?
Yeah, those little tags, it's like a mental battle. Oh, below Surge. Oh, I'm above Surge. Oh, I'm below Surge. Just a constant threshold changes for Queasy. But that's also a testament to how close the Storm Surge threshold actually is for some other players in this lobby. Monier getting targeted on the outside of zone. Queasy trying to take advantage of that one. And he's running out of builds quick. So not only does he need that refresh for any HP shields that he can get, but it's the materials because he's quickly going to run out if the zone does pull far away.
Storm Surge no longer active. Queasy, breath of fresh air now as he sees where the next pull is. It's not going to pull back, unfortunately, but Neither does he have to do an incredibly far rotate. He has the crash pads, but the issue is, Jacob, he uses a crash pad, one shot out of the air, and he's gone. Swizzy and Vanya looking incredibly healthy down below. And with just 2 seconds left, the rotate's going to come through.
I'm honestly waiting in anticipation to see what the plan is for Queasy here.
Dang, good.
It's almost like all or nothing. You have to go for the crash pad. Lands a couple of shots on that rotation, but you see him falling below that threshold yet again. More and more players do need to go down, making it harder and harder for someone like Queasy to survive. 40 seconds until Storm Surge starts to activate. If it doesn't get below that threshold, the players are falling fast. A blessing for Queasy. Can he stay alive, though, is the big question.
That's the timer. It's literally Queasy's timer. He's 1 tick away from getting eliminated. Once that timer that's at 25 seconds now reaches 0, Storm Surge will activate and start ticking. He needs to do more damage. He's just 32 below.
Yeah, he even landed another shot, but doesn't really move the needle at all. There are teams positioned in front, but they're almost full duos, making it not only a tough, but a very risky situation. And now that he's fresh out of mats and resources, he only has to wait for that opportunity. Somebody to rotate on by, possibly a solo, and just try to pop out of the wall at the perfect moment. The blessing here for Queasy is he's getting all of these placement points, top 13. He's almost collected half of them already.
How is he doing it? Enough players got eliminated where Storm Surge is no longer going to be activated, and he's still up. He's doing a great job, but the pressure comes through. Top 13 for Queasy.
Good job, Queasy.
It was a good play for what he had up above. It's going to be Dylan for 9.
Good job, bro.
Only for so long, though. Immediately have to get that one up, and they're going on a chase. Fall damage is real for Della.
You came
Maybe
from
a little
4
bit of a mistake for him,
all
but
the
at
way
least he's
to
able to
freaking
survive.
30
The
points.
Gentlemen
That was a
are
good
trying
game.
to be as gentle as possible with the lobby, but it does require being just a little bit aggressive, and they've taken the high ground, and now a chance to look down from above. This is a pressure situation, and they need to play their cards right.
Voltiax down below, annihilating their opponents, close to 8 eliminations as he's trying to get ahead, but Cool has gone down. Voltiax is left alone. The pressure might be too much as he just has 2 builds left.
Oh, medkit's being popped, though. Cannot save it for a heal-off scenario. Cannot save it to stagger himself back either. Doesn't have enough time in Storm to do that. 9th place, half of the placement points have been achieved. But he's so far back, even Chap goes down because of it. No Teeny in sight, so they're gonna go ahead and end in 9th place in this game as Vico, Flixie, they're taking the low ground and they're taking full control. Meanwhile, fight is happening in the clouds. Hopefully no thunder happens because Gentleman gets taken down. Hopefully it's raining loot as the other player just drops down as well. Walks and Pings have now overtaken the elevation above everybody else and now in the driver's seat.
The issue is just 4 builds onto Walks. If Ping doesn't have much more, they're going to be in desperation for finding an elimination. But down below in the mud, it's Vico and Flixie annihilating the opponents. Already 7 eliminations for the duo, and now they're looking height. They need to make that game-winning play.
Yeah, they're looking deep in the zone. They're trying to chop down high ground.
Oh,
Not
they're
necessarily
definitely
to
gonna
overtake
win.
it, but to make it easier to find
That's
out
my
in the
guess.
end. A little
Chorus
bit of
skin.
refresh mats
Oh,
coming
the
in,
chorus
needed
skin.
for Vico and Flixie. Now they can claim just a little bit more space down low at the
think
bottom, but they run
Flixie's
into
team.
Pablo first. Big elimination being picked up. More materials, but the high
They're
ground, Ping and
playing
Walks, they
so
come down
well.
to challenge.
Somebody needs to call security. Vico and Flixie are looking unstoppable as now they're forced to make their way on up. This is the play I was talking about. It's on to Ping. Can he connect his shots? They've overthrown height, but they have to close it out.
It's coming crashing down for a quick second, but they reconnected on the other side. Vico, Flixie saving the dashes for the perfect moment, but Flixie gets
nice.
Vico's by himself, falling from above like a thunderbolt from the sky. He strikes and takes the game.
Great game, great game.
1 versus 2 in the late game. He loses his duo partner, but the pressure does not get to him. This is why we talked about Vico, one of the most dominant, aggressive duos currently on EU, if not the most. And they are showing exactly why they deserve their spot in the global championship.
And it all goes back to resource management, making sure they not only have the materials, they have the heals, they have the position on the low ground, but the biggest thing right there, you see that little skull on the Vico? That was able to push him above, retake the high ground, and turn the tables on their opponents.
The most dominant high ground team during the semifinals have done it once again. You said it, the mix of patience, the mix of aim, aggression, and calculated strategies to close it out. Not only with the VR, but with 11 eliminations. That is going to blast them up the leaderboard.
Yeah, they might have taken the Thunderbolt of Zeus out of the game, but they forgot to take the Thunderbolt of Vico out of the game. But with 2 games done and over,
wow,
we're
great
gonna go to a
game,
quick
great game.
commercial break. On the other side, we'll see
It's
that
amazing
leaderboard.
game. was gonna go, but I can't go to Texas. That's too far. I mean, I probably could, but it would be a lot. September. Alright, so now we're just in replays, chat. Nice. "30 seconds, chat. Let's go." 10 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Game 3.
Welcome back to the FNCS Major 3 Grand Finals weekend. We are 2 games in, and Vico and Flixie made good on their promise, in Vico's words, to be the second best duo in the lobby. Although we have to say, Swizzy and Baniak, they've not picked up a victory royale yet. So maybe Vico was wrong. Maybe he's actually part of the best duo 11.
We'll see by the end of the 12 games, right? That's the whole point of this weekend, Frankie, right? So let's not talk too soon. Yeah, let's not get ahead of ourselves. But I will say, they were looking so strong in this end game. At the end there, Vico hitting the key shots, right? We talked about whether he'd be able to handle the big moments. Mini, so far,
let's go.
It's looking like it.
So far, so good for these guys. Even in the end game, in the last game, we spoke about them getting those mid-game eliminations. They didn't go into end game, or they actually didn't get too many end game eliminations last time. This time, though, they were fragging out, hip to hip, doing what these guys do best, doing some incredible plays. And it was this one right here at the end. It was the way they sprayed down. And it was actually a little bit after this, actually, where Vico actually dashes up, and it was such a good play to take. Like after they take out Pamela here, just give them the green light to go up onto high. Vico gets all these materials and thinks, right, you know what? Let's use this one dash that I've saved throughout the whole end game to take high, and the rest is just absolute perfection.
We actually get to live.
We know they want to be a team that plays towards height. That's
I don't know if you guys
been
know
so far
about
this
this
season.
trick,
And
but
then
if
finish
you
there,
actually want to go to live,
and able
you
to win
can
out
turn
again. So
up
really
the
nice
playback
game,
speed
massive
and it'll
game.
actually make you live.
That 2v1 from Vico at the end is just, it's the stuff of legend. And yeah, I'm just feeling optimistic about the chances of hopefully getting to do that in LAN in the near future. But the game plan was there from the start of these guys. It couldn't have gone better for them, apart from a moment when Vico got knocked out on the Rift Island. But of course, his teammate was there to pick him up, Mini Minor. And talk me through the action on Rift Island, because I think this just shows how they're so
Yeah, it's nice to see. I mean, we spoke so much about their Storm Surge strategies. They're going to be fighting up their drop spot. It seems like it's time to go for this Rift Island 11, try and fight on here, get that elevation as well. It's something we saw a lot at Global Championships, actually, as well, where teams are actually using this, not necessarily for the loot that's there, but for the refarm of the materials and for the elevation that they can get. And of course, in that game, they got so much Surge in this position.
The key thing, right, that we highlighted with Vico and Flixie was their struggle for, or their potential struggle for early Surge, right? There's just not many a lot of, options out in that Reckless Railways area. And so it was really nice to see them prioritizing Island in this game, right? Because at that point in the game, it's a bit later on, but so many good opportunities for Surge. And even though they did go down, it was just a sign of like how eager they were to just overpeak to try and get the damage. Right, it was like, yeah, they go down, it's bad, but it shows good intention from them. And of course,
4 minutes, Jack. 4 minutes. Let's go. Let's go. Get ready. Grab some popcorn. Grab a snack, and bundle up in the blanket. And watch FNCS.
As much as you expected, Levin.
You're grand finals
I mean,
with me.
we've seen from some of the other teams that have been trying it in these games so far, right? It's grand finals is harder, right? People build a lot more. It takes a lot more time. You lose a lot more in a lot of these fights. So it's not easy to just go around running around fighting people.
Yeah, although these two, I mean, at least in the cash cups, they make it look very easy. Let's take a look at the standings and find out where we're at. There are quite a few duos who are in the top 10
Here we go.
of game 1
Let's
who
go.
did not
Flixie's
make
on
it
top.
to the end game of game 2. So it's interesting to see how the standings have been
I'm going for
impacted.
Flixie, by the way,
Swizzy
Jack.
and Vaniac, though,
I think they're gonna win.
Outlier, Mini Miner, they actually had a pretty solid game 2 as well as game 1.
Yeah, nice to see from
Excuse
these
me.
guys. I mean, it's that consistency that they're able to get. That was an 8th place with 2 eliminations after that 4th place with 2 in the first game. Slightly different to what we expected. I think we expected them to go for height a little bit
3
more.
minutes left, chat. 3
freedom
minutes
to do
left.
that. But what it's nice to see, they're still making end games. They haven't been too affected by those by that cacti nerf. They're still getting that Storm Surge really well as well. And it just seems like they're able to get that consistency so far. I mean, it's only 2 games in 11, but not a bad start from these guys at all.
Yeah, like it's like I said, sort of
Yeah.
last game. They can play for it. They still
Oh,
play for it.
yeah.
They look up at height. Like it's something that they want to shy away from.
What's up,
But, like, I don't
guys?
think we should
Welcome back to
see them
another
be
video.
the dominant-centric team that we saw last major, right? Like that's not what they've necessarily been this season. It's not something that they can do as easily without having that advantage of wings. But nice to see 2 really good back-to-back games.
I
from them.
think
The only other team
I
that had sort of
got
those
shadow
2 games really
banned
good as well was Devon
because
Fernandez. So
nobody's
that's
always
consistency
in
so
my
far.
stream, so I
We also
think
saw
I need
Chapentini
to
come
stop.
alive now. They had a
Posting
spectacular Major 2
I
finals
don't know,
weekend.
I'm
Mini Miner,
scared.
you're anticipating the same for Major 3?
I'm anticipating some big things from this duo, absolutely. I mean, they've been a very solid team throughout this season. It was a team that I originally thought would definitely be one of the best teams in the region, definitely up there in the top 3. It hasn't been amazing for them necessarily.
I'm playing Fortnite. I'm bored. Why is everyone leaving? You guys are so mean. You guys always leave. I have no friends. With the big fat face and love me, I love you, and that's why we are perfect too. With a big fat. I love you, you love me, that's why we are perfect too. We need to change our region. Yes, sir. 159 points. Alright, let's see you at the very bottom. That's sad, people. Some people only have like 0 points. Someone's winning by freaking 1 point. Say Russian, Mexican. I think that's Russian. I think, yeah. German. 15. Alright, we're voting for German. Norway, France. I think that's. I don't know. That's either no, it's not Japan. I don't know what that is. That looks like the Golden State Bridge, like the France, United Kingdom, Norway, Germany, Norway, France, Germany, Germany, Russia. I don't know what that is. I think that's Wales. What's their stats? They're only Diamond 3. I'm sorry. That's what. They're only Diamond 3? How many wins do they have? About 0 build. Gold 1. 2 victory royales. One victory royale. They must not play ranked a lot. Yo, what's up, runner? How y'all doing? How y'all doing, bro? How y'all doing, bro? We are perfect. Yeah. How y'all doing? Also, guys, if you don't know, I play on NA West. Bombakla. Bombakla. What the hell? I have to beat 30,000. Yo, what's up? Deadpool, Wolverine, and of course the Adidas, right? I think this is the Adidas bundle. Yes, sir. You love to see it. You got them Booga. Booga should not have won the World Cup. I'm sorry, but he shouldn't. Cypher PK, okay. A laser beam. The Graphic, I don't know who that is. Chica bundle, don't know who that is. Pirates of the Caribbean. Bro, I really want this one. That Galactic Spiral. What's up, chat? Yo, that's a sick car. That's a really sick car. Look at that thing. That looks sick. Oh yeah, we also have now, hold on. Should have Fall Guys. Oh. I don't know where it is. I never played Team Rumble before. Dancing with the fire, 'cause I am the champion. And you're gonna hear me roar louder, louder than a child. I am the champion. And you're gonna hear me roar. Chat, you know what my dream is? To get rated. By Nicky30. Hey, amazing. All you have to do is look up SUPER. Soup, time to play some Super Red versus Blue. Oh yeah, also my dream is for like typical that I would either get on typical gamer's team, like, and he, or at least where he's playing, and 2, where he rates me or types in my chat, or 3, what I really want, he adds me and I can like send him requests. That's like my dream. When you so forever, told you I'll be the one forever. And you know, I was so forever. Told you would be the one forever. Told you to be mine forever. Ever since said you would be mine forever. Well, that's not very good.
Jordan?
What's up, Brody? How you doing? Say hi to stream. Yo, whoever has the mic, say hi to stream. Heard someone has a mic.